It's exactly 10:30 mainland Spain, 9:30 the UK and Canaries. The time advertised, as we put on our Facebook page and through Instagram as well, for an extraordinary medical matters mit Herr Dr. Semler, who is in for, as I say, just a focus on coronavirus. So welcome back. It's been a while.
It's been a while indeed. Good morning.
Are you okay?
Fine, yes, can't complain.
I know now, we don't take it personally that we don't shake hands when you come in, because that's good practice, right?
It is good practice.
Particularly if we're talking about the current, is it called an epidemic, a pandemic?
Well, it's an epidemic because it really hasn't caused a lot of trouble outside China.
Now, this is the thing. Should we be panicking or not?
No, for the time being now, with what we know today, there is no need to panic for us here in Europe or outside China anyway. Things seem to be well under control. The travelers are being screened. So far, virtually no illness has been imported into Europe at all.
There's been a couple of cases, hasn't there, in Spain?
There were two people taken into hospital in Spain, one on the Canary Islands, one in Palma de Mallorca, I think, on the Balearic Islands. The one on the Canary Islands was found to be not a carrier of the illness. The one on the Balearic Islands, I don't know, probably not either.
I think it was, but they got over it.
Most people get over it, yes, of course. The degree of the likelihood of getting seriously ill is very, very, very low, probably lower than it is with the usual flu viruses we get every winter anyway. It's not as deadly as the flu virus, even, it seems, for the time at the moment.
Presumably, because you know what people are like. You read it there and you feel it's there.
Yes.
I mean, have you had any people come to you?
No.
But you know what? Particularly if you get to a certain age, and dare I say the Brits as well, they think slightest symptoms, that's definitely it. I've got it.
No. We haven't had anybody who thought they might have it, and there's nobody I thought who might have it. In fact, there hasn't even been very much of the usual seasonal flu about. It seems to be a fairly healthy winter for the time being. There hasn't been any big outbreak of anything, not even the ordinary common flu at the moment. Here's
something I wanted to ask you. I'll get on to some of the basic principles, avoiding infection just generally in a moment. As a medical professional, where do you get the information from? So something comes to light, like the coronavirus. You're obviously not getting it out of off Facebook and the like. You're getting proper info. Where does it come from?
The government, the Department of Health, both from Madrid as the regional one in Valencia, they have developed and published guidelines that guide doctors how to react in face of a patient you suspect might carry that particular illness. They are well established, detailed guidelines, what to do, who to call, where to send, what measures to take.
So Dr. Semler is in from the Euroclinica in Javier. As I say, good of you to come in, because we know you're a busy chap, but just kind of putting people's mind at ease a little bit as far as coronavirus goes, because you never know what to believe, particularly these days when you got your social media and people plucking things out of the air. And also, I mean, there was concern about, when initially the breakout of how much actual proper information you get from Chinese government and Chinese state media. There's the thing.
That's a different matter. We don't know, but we have to take at face value what comes from there. There's no other way of getting more information. But I think they're fairly decent about how they communicate with the rest of the world.
So just talking about a lot of it, I've seen the World Health Organization, the info they put out, taking the basic steps. It's probably good practice, a lot of it anyway, on a daily basis.
Yes, it's sensible. It's a virus that lives in the airways of the human body. It likes our throats and it likes our lower airways, the bronchi and the lung tissue itself. It gets spread through coughing and sneezing, through anything that comes out of our nose or out of our mouth where it has been sitting and multiplying before. If people sneeze or cough on their hands, they will have the little droplets on their hands. They don't wash their hands, they don't wipe their hands, they take hold of a door handle, they touch the surface of a desk, they hold the strap in the underground, the virus will be there. It's a new virus. One doesn't really know too much about its abilities to live outside the human body, but it probably can live for at least half an hour at temperatures of 20 degrees and not too dry an atmosphere outside the human body. Meaning, somebody who carries the virus might not be aware of it, coughs, has got the droplets on their hands, shakes your hands, you've got the virus living on your hands for 20 minutes. What can you do not to get the infection? You wash your hands, you don't shake hands, or you have a disinfectant with you to clean your hands. That is true for all viruses that gets transmitted through the airways and droplets that come from coughing and sneezing.
What good are the masks doing, if anything?
Of course, they are a barrier. People sneeze, people cough, and as we sneeze, as we cough, we spread out droplets almost in a hemisphere around us. And if you're next to somebody who coughs and sneezes, you breathe it in with your next breath. It's been shown that if you stay close to somebody within 2 meters distance for more than 5 minutes and the other person coughs and sneezes, you're going to breathe it in and you can't avoid it. The mask would certainly stop that. It'll keep most of what the carrier would dissipate around them in the mask, and what little can escape through the sides of the mask, you stop from breathing in yourself by wearing your own mask. It's a very, very efficient way of stopping the spread of infection.
Well, they've been doing a roaring trade, the sellers of those masks. They're all sold out in parts of China and elsewhere.
Well, a very sensible measure to take.
Yeah. All right, is there anything else we need to mention at this stage, really?
Well, at the moment, there is no coronavirus in Spain, and it is probably unlikely that we will see a bad outbreak here occurring.
How are the cases new cases starting to fall a little bit in China?
Yes, well, let's hope that is the beginning of a trend downwards. I mean, they have taken very, very drastic measures, the Chinese authorities, and let's hope they take effect in that the spread is being contained and the number of newly infected people just drops. That's the aim of their measures, to break the chain of passing on the illness, the chain of transmission. That's why they put everybody in quarantine, to not let them cough on their still healthy neighbors.
And what was the quarantine period? Is it a couple of weeks?
It is 2 weeks, though probably... Yes, the quarantine period is 2 weeks. The incubation period is between 2 and 11 days. That means you catch the virus today, from the 3rd day onwards for another 11 days, you carry it openly in your throat and in your airways and are able to pass it on through coughing and sneezing. But the period for which you are infectious, having been diagnosed, the quarantine period is 14 days, 2 weeks.